Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Okay, so we are talking the ketogenic diet, fats, fatty vitamins, fatty hormones, all as it regards the skin. That's where we started off this journey a couple weeks ago. Last we spoke, we were talking about how as the food chain moves up, as we go up the food chain, rocks turn into vegetables, which then turn into animal foods, and vibrations become more dense and vibrations become higher. A rock has a lower vibration than a vegetable, which has a lower vibration than an animal food. You can tell that a substance has a lot of energy by how fast it rots, by how fast it degrades when it's separated from its source of energy. When a vegetable is removed from the ground, it begins the decay process, and that usually takes days or weeks. When a piece of meat is separated from the life force of the animal, when the meat is slaughtered, the decay process begins instantly. That's because meat is so high energy. That's why slaughterhouses have to be regulated so carefully. That's why E. coli and other bacteria are such a problem in the meatpacking business. Dairy is likewise a problem. Eggs are a little bit different because nature's provided them with their own protective case. But even still, if the life inside an egg is not contained by cold in the refrigerator, for example, an egg is going to begin to decay within days of being separated from the hen. The bottom line here is animal foods are higher energy than vegetable foods, but like all high energy substances, they break down quickly. They rot. And this is where animal foods get such a bad rap. They're rotting quickly. And many of us are subsisting on foods that have begun, on animal foods that have already begun to break down, to rot. At least, if not subsisting, at least we're eating them. So animal products, theoretically anyway, are the most nutritionally valuable of all foods, and vegetarians are going to unfortunately be missing out on a lot of good nutrition by avoiding them. Also, by the way, as an aside, as my friend Eileen pointed out, hello Eileen if you're listening, there are no toxic animal foods, but there's lots of toxic plants and lots of toxic vegetables. How interesting is that? None of this, by the way, is meant to diminish the importance of veggies, which, as I've said over and over and over and over again, veggies should make up most of what we eat. It's just that human beings are not vegetarians. We're not carnivores either. Human beings are meant to eat everything. We're not rabbits and we're not lions. We're omnivores. The human body is designed to thrive on all kinds of foods, and from a biological standpoint anyway, our bodies are meant to thrive on meat and fish and dairy and veggies and fruit, and that's what it means to be an omnivore. We're opportunistic eaters. We eat what's there. Sorry, vegetarians. We're not supposed to be vegetarians. We're not supposed to be anything-tarian if it means that we're only eating one type of food. That's not the way the body works. We're supposed to eat everything. And if you're eating only vegetable foods, you're missing out on a lot of good nutrition. Not beating up on any vegetarians here. I'm just speaking science. What we're definitely not supposed to be eating is the processed, boxed frankenfood that over the last 200 years or so has taken over our food supply. Today, the 70% of the standard American diet is made up of processed foods, and that's most certainly what we're not supposed to be eating. Most of the foods that we eat today didn't exist 200 years ago, let alone 500,000 years ago as our bodies were developing on the African savanna. For most of us, it's almost impossible to imagine not at least having some of our foods coming from boxes or cans or being reconstituted or synthesized or somehow fabricated, basically composite food products. The classic example, by the way, of a composite food product is American cheese, which pretty much says it all when we're talking about the standard American diet. If you look on the label, on the package label of a little package of American cheese, you're going to see it's not even cheese. It's a processed cheese food product, whatever that means. A pasteurized processed cheese food product, as a matter of fact. American cheese is a patented version of an ordinarily good food. If you're patenting a food, that tells you something right there. And American cheese was patented by a guy named Kraft, James L. Kraft, at the beginning of the 20th century. And it's a fake version of an ordinarily good food. Cheese is a highly nutritious food. It's protein dense. It's got vitamin K in it. It's got MCTs in it. It's a great ketogenic food. Cheese is an amazing food, but James Kraft saw a business when he saw cheese. He figured he could, when he saw American cheese. American cheese was actually invented by the Swiss. And James Kraft saw it, and he quickly patented it because he was a visionary, a cheese visionary, a food visionary. And he saw that he could market it as a modern, high-tech version of an ancient food. Americans were obsessed with modernity at the turn of the 20th century. If something was modern, if something was high-tech, it was good. So James Kraft marketed his cheese product as a modern version of cheese. And American cheese was more stable, it sat on the shelf longer, it was easier to slice, it was easier to melt. But most importantly, it was cheap. It was cheap to sell, and it was cheap to buy. But it's not cheese. Cheese is just milk protein, and bacteria. You're not going to see an ingredient deck on cheese, but you're going to see a long ingredient deck on American cheese. And that ingredient deck will include some very non-cheese-like substances, including emulsifiers and preservatives and food coloring and stabilizers, sorbic acid and calcium phosphate and sodium citrate. In fact, over 50% of a slice of American cheese is not cheese. That's why it's called a processed cheese food product, a pasteurized processed cheese food product. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network.
Suffering from illness or disease? Frequently in pain? Overstressed? Always tired? The solution is to oxygenate your cells because disease cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment. Introducing Vital Ion, the first mineralized edible oxygen in the world. Go to toolsforfreedom.com and get the Miracle of Oxygenation DVD free with any Vital Ion purchase. Call 800-770-8802. That's 800-770-8802. Let Vital Ion edible oxygen be your daily fountain of youth.
Hey, I rode the elevator with you, but I don't work on the upper floors. I just want to squeeze in there right next to you, so the RFID scanner in my pocket can capture all your personal information, your debit and credit cards, even your work ID badge. So your identity is now my identity. Going up, so am I.
For over 10 years, ID Stronghold has pioneered RFID blocking wallets and ID badge holders for consumers, the U.S. military, and even the Executive Office of the President. Shouldn't you be protected too? ID Stronghold wallets cost about the same as wallets in most stores, but give you extra protection.
I'm Walt Augustinowicz, founder and CEO of ID Stronghold. Don't be a victim of electronic pickpocketing. Protect yourself from crimes you can't see with ID Stronghold wallets, card sleeves, and purses.
Visit idstronghold.com and get the original RFID blocking wallets and badge holders. idstronghold.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. Has your body ever gone low blood sugar, feeling weak, shaky, knowing you better eat something fast? We all know high blood sugar can lead to many metabolic problems. At GCNteam.com, we have a healthy blood sugar pack, focusing on the structure and function of stable blood sugar. Find us at GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Nothing feels worse than unstable blood sugar. Call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. goberkey.com.
Okay. Now, I don't mean to rip on American cheese, by the way. I know I just did, but there's a lot worse things that we can eat than American cheese. It's just that cheese is one of the all-time great power foods, has so many health benefits, vitamins and protein and good fats, great ketogenic food. And American cheese is kind of like an icon for the adulteration and bastardization of quality foods. The same is true about the bread that we put the cheese on. Bread is just flour and salt and yeast and water. That's it. But if you buy a loaf of bread at a store, a loaf of white bread, you're going to see, or any bread really, you're going to see dozens of ingredients that somehow are supposed to make the bread taste better. In reality, it's not that the ingredients make the bread taste better, it's that we're hypnotized to believe that the bread tastes better. We become conditioned to a certain texture, and so now we consider the softness and the mushiness of the bread to be a standard, a taste standard. The ingredients in your typical loaf of store-bought white bread are, for the most part, in there just so the bread will be able to stay on the shelf, just so somebody can sell you the bread. And this is really what processed foods are about. They're easier to sell. They're easier to make a profit on. And in this way, it's a lot like the skincare business. I came up with the Truth Treatment products because I've been in the business for so long and I've been formulating products for so long. It never made sense to me that most of the products I were making were just in there so somebody could sell you the product. This is how foods are. This is how processed foods are. Most of the ingredients in the processed food are there so somebody can sell you the product. Skincare, like processed food, typically, your typical skincare product contains very little that is going to make your body or your skin healthier. Processed food isn't going to make your body healthier. Most of the ingredients are just there to sell you something. On the other hand, skincare products do contain ingredients that are going to trick you into thinking that you're doing something for your skin. You rub it on your skin, you go, oh, I feel nice. That feels nice and soft and smooth. All you're feeling is product. You're not feeling anything that happened to your skin. You're feeling silicone and oil and wax, and it might feel good, but it's not doing anything for you. Likewise with processed foods. You got flavors, you got calories, you got aromas. All that's going to trick you into feeling good and feeling satisfied, but it's not going to make you healthier for the most part. The great irony here, folks, is that we don't need processed food. Even though 70% of our calories are coming from processed food, we could do quite well with veggies, a little egg and dairy, and some meat and fish. And by the way, we don't need a lot of food either. But we got to learn to listen to our body's cues. We got to learn to eat from our bellies, not from our brains. First of all, we got to learn to move our attention around. We got this thing called attention. And our attention is typically goes hither and thither. It's pulled here and there. Typically by people who want us to do something, usually buy something. Here's a little trick I learned. I was overweight a few years ago. I was like 50 pounds overweight about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I was always the same weight my whole life. I was the same weight. And then gradually, as I got into my 30s, I got a little bigger, and then a little bigger, and then a little bigger. At first, I thought the scale was broken. I used to weigh myself every day at the gym, and I was like, what the heck's wrong with this scale? First, I started off at 180, and then I was 185, and then I was 190, and then I was demanding that they fix the scale, but they assured me that the scale was fine. And then I was 195, and then I was 200. Before I knew it, I was 220 pounds. From 180, I went up to 220 pounds. And so I had to take emergency measures because I didn't want to be 220 pounds. And I didn't want to wear a size 38 pant. That's what happened to me. I went from a 32 waist to a 34 to a 36, and I was about to go to a 38, and I was like, no way. And so I had to take emergency measures. And what I did was I learned that there's this thing called attention, and most of the time when I was hungry, my attention was in my head, in my mouth, in this little tiny patch of tissue on the top of my tongue and in my mouth. And so I learned that if I put my attention in my belly, most of the time I wasn't hungry. And I lost 50 pounds. I went down to 170. I've since gained 10 back. 170 was a little thin. But simply by learning how to move your attention around in your body from your head down to your belly, you can do dramatic things. I guarantee you, for the most part, when we're eating, the vast majority of time, we're not eating from our belly. We're eating from our head. And you can tell you're eating from your head if you're not sure what you want to eat. If you ever stand in front of the looking at the menu or looking at the menu board and you're, I want that, I don't know if I want that, I don't know what I want to eat, you're not hungry. That's how you can tell. Just learn to move your attention around. It's a simple little trick to lose weight. If you don't feel like stopping, if you're busy working or you're having a good time, you don't feel like stopping to eat, everybody's stopping to eat, just move your attention around. And you'll notice that if your attention is if you're eating from your head, or the drive to eat is from your head or your mouth, it's simple to resist food. Just drop your attention down to your belly. If you have your attention in your head, just drop it down to your belly where you're not hungry and you're not going to want to eat. When we figure this thing out, that our eating behaviors out, we're going to have, not only are we going to be healthier, not only are we going to be stronger, but we'll have a lot more time and we'll save a lot of money as well. And learning how to eat filling foods is also important. Learning how to take advantage of fillingness. This is where veggies come in. Veggies are the quintessential filling food, and they're the quintessential quality food. They're easy to use. They're veggies. You don't have to do anything. You just munch on a stick of celery. They're abundant. They're not ridiculously cheap, but they're not really that expensive. And they're very, very nutritious. And they're also the perfect ketogenic food. And because they have a negligible effect on insulin, they're the ideal breakfast foods. Foods that stimulate the production of insulin are a bad idea. Insulin makes you tired. Foods that crank up insulin should not be eaten for breakfast. Insulin, one of the main effects of insulin is to lower your blood sugar. Hypoglycemia follows insulin, especially if your body is super sensitized to insulin, which happens before you go into insulin resistance. The body cranks out lots of insulin. The pre-diabetic condition is marked by hypoglycemia, bouts of low blood sugar, bouts of hypoglycemia. That's why many people feel like they need a nap after they eat. If you eat a salad for breakfast, not only are you going to be full, but you're not going to need a nap at 10 o'clock. Breakfast is the most important meal to skip. That's what we talk about all the time. Skip breakfast. I guarantee you, 100%, you are going to start to hear about how you should be skipping breakfast, probably in the next couple of years. You're going to start hearing about this. This is one of the great advantages to you guys listening to The Bright Side. You're getting the scoop 2 to 3 to 5 years before you hear it out there in the mainstream press. But I guarantee you, you're going to start to hear how you want to skip breakfast. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. Ripping on food a little bit here. Don't mean to rip on food. So much of our eating behavior is based on trying to get happy. We got a happiness problem. And marketers are only too willing to help take care of our happiness issue. We're told that we have to eat to be happy. We have to buy things to be happy. Well, we can just tap into happiness. Imagine it. Try imagine. If you're not happy right now, try imagining it. Just pretending you're happy. As you pretend you're happy, the biochemistry in your brain will change. As you pretend you're happy, you will secrete hormones of happiness. And that's the same as being happy. We can pretend our way into being happy. We can pretend our way into being satisfied. We can pretend our way into having a joy for living and a joy for life without buying things, without food, without materialism. Whole notion of consumerism and materialism, it's not in our interest, and we don't even get happy. When they do studies on happiness, they find that it's not the material things that make us happy anyway. It's the immaterial things that make us happy. Companionship, friendship, love, socialization, security. These are non-material things. Nobody's ever going to get happier except for maybe for a brief split second from food. But we're induced, we're hypnotized, we're conditioned to believe that that's where happiness is. And of course, we never get happy, so we eat more food and we buy more stuff. It's not in our interest, folks. We're being lied to. We're being hypnotized. We're being manipulated. It's not fair. It really is not fair. Anyway, that's why we're here on The Bright Side every day, to help clear up some of this confusion. Tomorrow we'll continue talking about some handy-dandy ways that you can use vegetables and you can use ketogenic foods to access the ketogenic diet. Skipping breakfast is just one of them. Salad for breakfast. I'm sure some of you out there are thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to eat salad for breakfast. Fish for breakfast. You know, you can buy these smoked fish things at even your regular supermarket. They're not perfect. They got sugar in there and, you know, probably some chemicals, but at least it's high protein and it's easy to use. Relatively quality food. What's not quality food is the stuff you get at Denny's, that's for sure, or IHOP. Oh my God. Cheesecake Factory, that's another one. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's see here. Check this one out. Modifying gut bacteria could be a treatment option for PCOS. How do you like that? Where have you heard that before? PCOS is an awful condition that affects a lot of women. 10% of women worldwide are affected by polycystic ovarian syndrome. If you don't have it, you probably don't know what it is. But if you do have it, oh my God. Let's see. PCOS, women who have PCOS will be dealing with obesity issues. They'll be dealing with menstrual issues. They'll be dealing with skin issues. They'll have body hair. They'll have hair on their face. They'll have thinning hair. Have acne. Oh my God, is that an awful condition? Well, guess what? Now they found that PCOS is related to the gut. Surprise, surprise. If you've been listening to this program for any length of time, folks, you are way ahead of the curve when it comes to understanding how to take care of your body. Even if you're not employing or taking advantage of some of the stuff we talk about on this program, you are way ahead of the curve. You know more than your physician knows if you've been listening to this program. Not because I'm smart, but just because it's common sense. The triangle of disease, everything. The triangle of disease, no matter what your health challenge is. Here's another good one for you. This is all from yesterday, by the way. Research provides insight into the role of the Western diet in Alzheimer's disease. Oh, no kidding. Surprise, surprise. Research, I'm telling you, folks, this is from Nature Scientific Reports. Recent research has established associations between the Western diet and Alzheimer's disease. No kidding. If you have Alzheimer's disease or you know anybody who has Alzheimer's disease, please, please, please understand it is reversible. It is not inevitable. There's no drugs that can help you, but we can do it ourselves. Get on a supplement program. Wean yourself off the crappy food, especially sugar. It's type 3 diabetes, Alzheimer's disease. All right. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number on the bright side. Let's go to Ohio and welcome Liz. Good morning, Liz. What's cooking?
Hi. I was wondering if you had any advice for me about epilepsy and seizures.
Yes. Matthew 17:21. Read Matthew. Read the Bible. How did Jesus cure the boy of epilepsy? He told him to fast. Yes, ketogenic diet.
Well,
Do you know about the?
Say in the past month, I've gone on the longevity products and I've gone gluten free, and I'm avoiding all of Dr. Wallach's 10 bad foods and all of that. But yeah, I guess I was just wondering if you knew anything more specific and what you think I can hope to see from all of it.
Zillions of things you could do for epilepsy, seizure disorders. Have you had any seizures since you started this new program?
No grand mal seizures, but I'm still having the minor one.
Okay, here's what you need to do. So you're on the right track, though. You see how you're getting better, right? Now, as far as the 10 bad foods go, the problem with that list is there's 100 bad foods. No, excuse me. There's 1,000 bad foods. There's not just 10 bad foods. Yeah. So it's misleading. And yes, I understand the point of saying 10 bad foods because we don't want to bombard people with 1,000 bad foods. You got to start somewhere, but you can't just go by the 10 bad foods. So here's what you need to do. Number one, you got to go ketogenic. Have you just started listening to the program, or have you been listening for a while?
Today's my first day, but I've listened to you on Coach before.
Okay, well, we've been talking about the ketogenic diet now for a couple of weeks. The ketogenic diet, for new listeners out there, and excuse me for repeating for people who've been listening for a while, is a high-fat diet. And it's a low-carbohydrate diet, and I mean very low, and they call it moderate protein. So you're looking at almost no carbohydrates. For the ketogenic diet can be used for Alzheimer's, mental health issues, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, weight loss. But for seizure disorders, it has to be very strict. And that means 5% or so of your calories coming from carbohydrates, or 5 to 10%, somewhere in there. Very low carb, and those should be vegetables. Also, caloric restriction, restricting the amount of calories that you eat. Also, staying away from any foods that cause digestive distress. Okay, these are the three main strategies right now, and I'm going to give you some nutritional things that you could do. But first and foremost, you want to go very, very low carbohydrate, okay? You want to go calorie restriction as best as you can, and you want to stay away from any kind of problem foods, okay? That's first. The second, and by the way, we have archives at benfuchsarchives.com and also brightsideben.com. And if you listen to the archives from the last couple of weeks, and we'll continue doing this for the next few days, but for the last couple of weeks, we hit the ketogenic diet very hard. And it's extremely important that anybody with seizure disorders understands how to use this thing. It's been used since the 1920s, the ketogenic diet. And by the way, fasting has been used since, not just since Jesus, in the Bible they talk about it, but also Hippocrates talked about it. The ancient Greeks used it for seizure disorders. Basically, the less food you eat, the more stable your body will be. A seizure disorder is caused by a short-circuiting in the electrical energy in the brain. That short-circuiting is exacerbated by high energy. Sugar is high energy. Is quick high energy. So you want to be making sure that you're controlling your foods. Then there's wonderful nutritional supplements. I mean wonderful for the brain. The B vitamins, extremely important. You're not going to get enough in the Healthy Start Pack. You're going to need to take some extra B vitamins. Can you stick with us, Liz? We got to take a break, and I'll get you some more ideas. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We'll be back right after this. Don't go away. We're talking to Liz in Ohio. Liz, you there?
Yes.
Okay, so go ketogenic. That means high fat, and the best fat's going to be coconut oil. Do a couple teaspoons of coconut oil, and that will also be very satisfying, a couple teaspoons of coconut oil every day. You may also want to get something called MCT oil, which is in coconut oil. But if you get straight MCT, you can get straight MCT oil at a health food store, maybe a couple tablespoons of that a day. Then you want to make sure you're restricting as best as you can, going 0 to 10% of your calories from carbohydrates and sugar. Certainly refined sugar, that's out. Coke, and you probably know this, but fruit juice.
I've already done that, yes.
Okay, so but there's sneaky places where there's sugar and carbs, and you got to watch out for those. More fiber can also help you, and there's an amino acid called glutamine, Glutamine, which is important for the brain and can also have some beneficial effects for seizure disorders. Then there are the straight, flat-out nutrients for the brain, and chief among those are the B vitamins, all of them. I would be getting you'll get some in the BTT. In fact, you'll get a significant amount in the BTT, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. But I personally, if I were you, I'd go get a B complex, something like a B100, and do it every couple hours. In addition to that, make sure you're getting enough extra omega-3 fatty acids. You'll get those in the Ultimate EFAs, but I would be taking a little bit extra. Fish oil, something like Nordic Naturals or Carlson's. Those are good brands of fish oil. And then as far as nutrients that are flat out, just straight for seizures, lithium orotate is good. GABA, G-A-B-A, which you may have heard of. That's another good one. Make sure you're getting enough magnesium. I would be using 50 milligrams a day of zinc picolinate. Second word, P-I-C-O-L, picolinate, picolinate. And then also get yourself 400 international units a day of mixed tocopherols. That's a form of vitamin E. If you have any kind of digestive health issues, in addition to staying away from foods that trigger those, make sure you're using your Ultimate Enzymes. That's from Longevity. Make sure you're using the Biolumin Nightly Essence. I'd be doing 60 billion units of those a day. They can help you process your nutrients. You may also want to try a little extra fat metabolizing nutrients. As you're going ketogenic and eating more fat, and the ketogenic diet is a high-fat diet, you're going to want to make sure that you're using things like lecithin or bile salts in addition to your Ultimate Enzymes to make sure you're processing those. Last but most certainly not least, you'll notice that seizure disorders are triggered by shortness of breath, so make sure you're practicing slow, deep breathing. And by deep, I'm talking about into your bottom of your feet, but at least into the belly. Most of us breathe shallow, and we don't get enough oxygen, and hypoxia or low blood oxygen can certainly be a trigger for a seizure. So slowing down the body, making sure that you're using your slow, deep breathing techniques, and then also anything that activates the relaxation nervous system will also be helpful. Things like hot water, hot baths, massage, just relaxing, just general relaxing can help as well. There's so many things you could do, Liz, but it sounds like you're on the right track. If you want extra information, send me an email, ben@ksco.com, and put your phone number in there. Okay, Liz, I got to motivate. I hope we helped you out. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much.
Okay, take care. Have a beautiful day. All right, let's go to Candy in Wisconsin. Welcome to the Bright Side. What's going on, Candy?
Hi, Ben. First of all, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease about 3 years ago, And they sent me home with 2 medications, and after I did research about them, I chose not to. One was a steroid, one was a cancer treatment drug. And the doctor was very upset, and they actually told me that I would lose my small intestine if I didn't follow through with doing their drugs. And I refused, and they at least tried to talk me into taking Boost. So I took Boost for 3 months, prescribed. And
Boost? Wait a minute. Boost, like the nutritional drink? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Because the
God.
infection was so bad that I could only have soft foods, and they felt that I was losing too many minerals and vitamins and couldn't hold food down too well. So the infection lasted a good 8 months. That was still coming out of my body from the acid eating through. But that all cleared up. But
How did it clear up? Wait a minute. Don't just tell us how you did it.
I changed my diet completely.
I love it.
I was on that Boost for 3 months. But that made me gain 40 pounds, if not a little bit more.
But you changed your diet and you cleared up your problem, right?
Yes, I started doing this Whey Factors from Canada.
Yes.
And
How'd you know about that? How'd you know about natural? That's a great program.
My dad helped me with that one.
Good deal.
And then I did the meal replacement. I forgot what it was called. It was like I only did it for that whole year by Rubin.
Jordan Rubin stuff?
Yes, Jordan Rubin.
Oh, that's awesome. You're awesome, Candy. Congratulations.
That as my meals, and then slowly I added food back after like 3 or 4 months. And then
How you doing now? How are you doing now?
Well, now I started the ketogenic last month due to hearing your message, and I started on the 12th, and it was hell the first 3 days.
How come?
I had headaches severely.
Okay.
My body was aching.
Did you try to go all at once? Did you try to do it all at once? Or did you start?
I did. I mean, I started and I fasted the first day. And then the second day I had the fat and lower protein and basically maybe 5 carbs. And then the third day, and that's when it really let loose, was the 4th and 5th day. I felt like 100%.
Oh, that's awesome.
Even my vision felt better. Like,
that's awesome, Candy. That is such good news. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, man.
Yeah.
How can we help you? I'm going to run out of time here. I love hearing the story, though. That's a great story, Candy. How can we help you today?
Magnesium oxide. I got the Now product, seeing that it's fairly cheaper and it's pure powder. I used that the last 2 nights, and I've been feeling really good. Is it okay to double the dose for 1
Well, you'll have to see. You might get a little diarrhea is the only thing. You might get a little loose stool if you take too much, or you might even get a little drowsy. You'll have to test it out yourself. There's not a problem necessarily with it. You'll just have to see how you do. It's not the best source of magnesium, though, magnesium oxide. It's a little harder for the body to get the magnesium out of the magnesium oxide. But if you're feeling good, let's stick with it. Up your dose gradually. Don't double it right away, but up it gradually and see what happens. The worst thing that's going to happen is you'll go into loose stools or maybe a little drowsiness.
And what's the better kind of magnesium?
There's a lot of good kinds. Magnesium glycinate is a good source of supplemental magnesium. That's my favorite. Chelated magnesium, colloidal magnesium, which you'll get from plant-derived minerals. And then veggies. If you can do veggies, grind up, make veggie juices. Anything that's green is going to be magnesium.
Okay, and for the total of weight loss is 15 pounds for 1 month.
You lost 15 pounds?
Yes, on the 12th it'll
awesome.
be 15 pounds.
Congratulate, Candy. You made my day. Thank you so much for sharing that.
I want to thank you because, what was stuck in my mind was when you feel horrible, take a bath. I remember you saying that. Take a hot bath, relax your body. And that's what pulled me through that first.
Oh, that's so cool, man. You just warmed my heart. Thank you so much for sharing that, Candy. You know what, Candy? Send me your email. Email me your address, and I'm going to send you out a free Beyond Tangy Tangerine on me. Email to ben@ksco.com. And thank you so much for sharing that. You made my day.
To anyone with Crohn's, I have to tell you that my last doctor's visit was a month ago. I skipped 3 years, and she couldn't believe my results. And she said that I'm pretty much in remission. Can't even tell that I had Crohn's.
Oh, man, that is so friggin' cool. Thank you so much, Candy. God bless you. Have a beautiful day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. You guys, did you hear that? Anybody out there with Crohn's or celiac or IBS or ulcerative colitis, you don't need a doctor. You just need to change simple little things in the way you eat, the way you supplement. That just made my day. Thank you so much for that, Candy. All right, let's see if we can get a couple more in here. Brian in Kentucky, welcome to the bright side. What's going on?
Hey, Ben.
Hey.
I'm trying to go keto, and
Yes.
I'm having a problem with coconut oil. I'll break out terribly.
Okay. You sure it's the coconut oil? You might be linking
90%.
It sounds unusual. I'm not going to say no because it's your experience, but you might want to check it out. And the way you check it out is by obviously stop in the coconut oil, see what happens. It may take you a couple days for your skin to clear up, then start again. Okay, don't make any other changes. But sometimes we make associations that aren't there, and coconut oil typically is not going to do that. Now, if it does do it, then you want to make sure that you're processing your fats correctly, because that could be a sign that you're not processing your fats, and some bad fats are getting into the blood, and that could definitely cause you to break out. But I wouldn't jump to conclusions just yet until you figure it out, until you figure out if it's indeed the coconut oil that's doing it. Brian, we're just out of time, man. If you want to call back tomorrow, I'll definitely take you up, okay? I apologize, bro.
All right, thanks.
Okay, man. All right. Hey, Carl the Truth Raider. You got 15 seconds, Carl the Truth Raider.
All right. Thanks, Ben. Hey, I have to say my tip for tomorrow. What would you recommend is the best meat and dairy place to get natural and healthy organic?
Okay. That's a great
beef
question.
and dairy?
We'll do that tomorrow. All right. Have a beautiful day, Carl. Thanks for the question. All right. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We got to go. Have yourselves a spectacular, awesome, beautiful day. Check out my skin health products, by the way, at truthtreatments.com. Truthtreatments.com. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Have a great, beautiful, wonderful, spectacular day. Bye for now.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products, most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
It's no secret that pathogens such as bacteria, viruses, molds, and fungus can inflict severe damage in the human body. Fortunately, a new and vastly improved silver solution has been developed. Supernatural Silver is a revolutionary broad-spectrum antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal solution that can be used inside the body as well as on the skin. Supernatural Silver is unique and superior to colloidal and ionic silvers, using a patented technology that is highly effective against colds, flus, infections, food poisoning, and yeast, in addition to many other pathogens. Supernatural Silver is scientifically supported, extremely safe, and is the #1 choice of thousands of people for immune system support. Find out how Supernatural Silver could change your life. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code HEALTHY for 20% off. That's supernaturalsilver.com. And like us on Facebook.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Pharmacist Ben Fuchs knows the importance of proper digestion.
Make sure you take a look at the Ultimate Enzyme product. They're made with bile salts and fat digestion enzymes and protein digestive enzymes. And not only do the Ultimate Enzymes give you obvious benefits for digestion, but they can also help keep your blood flowing through your circulatory system. As most of you probably know by now, thick, sludgy, clotting blood is a serious risk factor for heart disease and stroke. Clearly, inappropriate and excessive blood clotting is a major health issue, and thick, sludgy blood is not just about heart health either. Sludgy blood can compromise oxygenation and nutrient delivery injury to all your cells and tissues and organs and ultimately lead to almost any health issue you can name.
Concerned about proper digestion and heart health? Order Ultimate Enzymes by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470 or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com. This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Don't know what's in your drinking water? Better get a Pro Pure. With the Pro 1 G2.0 all-in-one filter, remove over 200 contaminants, including fluoride and lead. Taste water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of Pro Pure water filtration products. There's a Pro Pure system for you. Visit your authorized Pro Pure dealer for details on our current free shipping special or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Ben Fuchs is a registered pharmacist who has been using nutritional supplementation like medicines for decades, seeing tremendous health benefits. That's why he drinks Pollen Burst from Youngevity's complete line of nutritional supplements.
Pollen Burst has got the B vitamins in there, and the B vitamins are so fascinating because most people are going to be deficient in the B vitamins because they're rapidly processed out of food. So if you're eating foods that are cooked, if you're eating foods that are frozen, if you're eating foods that are prepared in any way, you're going to be deficient in these B vitamins. And the B vitamins work on the parts of the body that move the fastest: the brain, the heart, the skin, and the digestive system. Those are the four systems that respond rapidly to the B vitamins.
To feel changes in your body's fast-moving systems, order Youngevity's Pollen Burst by calling 877-551-1301. That's 877-551-1301 or on the web at InfoWarsTeam.com. That's InfoWarsTeam.com.
Suffering from illness or disease? Frequently in pain? Overstressed? Always tired? The solution is to oxygenate your cells because disease cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment. Introducing Vital Ion, the first mineralized edible oxygen in the world. Go to toolsforfreedom.com and get the Miracle of Oxygenation DVD free with any Vital Ion purchase. Call 800-770-8802. That's 800-770-8802. Let Vital Ion edible oxygen be your daily fountain of youth.
Hi there. Are you an unhappy timeshare owner? Have you ever asked yourself, how can I get rid of my timeshare? Does your story go something like Stacy's story goes? Here's Stacy now.
My husband and I went and visited a resort, and they kind of attacked us, and they kept sending more and more people until we finally said yes, and we bought this timeshare, and then we were stuck in this timeshare that we couldn't get rid of, and we tried all different ways. They made it seem like it was this really great deal, and when we said no originally, then they brought the price down, and then when we still said no, they brought in the manager, and they brought the price down even lower, and they started breaking out in different ways to make it look like it was this really awesome deal. The reality was it wasn't an awesome deal at all.
To cancel your timeshare contract, call ACC today. It's an attorney-based program with a free consultation. The first 20 callers get a 20% discount. Call now, 800-587-EXIT. That's 800-587-3948. Call today, 800-587-EXIT. That's 800-587-3948.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.